I'm good.
Rolling.
Okay, today we're going to talk about histiocytosis. It's a group of very rare diseases that affect children under the age of 15. So rare, in fact, that it's only found in less than 1 in 200,000 people. The reason why I'm doing it on this report is because back in 2009, I was called by the CW Bill Donor Marrow Program to donate bone marrow. And after about a year, I believe it is, I found out that the recipient that I had, she had one of these diseases. So I thought I'd do some research into it. Like I said before, it's a very rare disease and it doesn't receive hardly any acknowledgement. It's considered an orphan disease in the United States, so they don't have any of the kind of funding like cancer research, March of Dimes, stuff like that. First we're going to talk about what exactly histio is. We're going to abbreviate it because it's a big, long, ugly word. It's when a person has an overabundance of white blood cells. These are also called histiocytes. It was first described in medical literature in the mid to late 1800s. It's broken down into 3 different categories. It's actually 3 different diseases. The first is the Langerhans cell histiocytosis, and this is Mr. Paul Langerhans, and he's the guy who discovered that type. They call that LCH. It is the most common. There's also hemophagocytic lymphohistiocytosis, HLH. This is what the little girl that I donated bone marrow to, this is what she has. It's also called macrophage cell disorder, and it causes bone loss, all kinds of really horrible things. It attacks your bone marrow, things like that. It's an autoimmune disorder. And then there's also malignant histio, and that's also can include leukemia and malignant tumors. Knowledge is power, and now that we know a little about what histio is, we can talk about, again, about how rare this actually is. So it's called an orphan disease, and what that means in the United States is that less than 1 in 200,000 people have this disease. There is only one organization, I think globally, that supports these guys at all. They're dedicated to getting funding for critical research and help for the ailing patients and their families. The lack of research and funding makes it very difficult for anybody affected by these diseases to get any kind of aid, like help with transportation to doctor's offices, paying for hotel rooms, like, you know, if you have to travel somewhere else. I think there's a graph on the next one. Oh no, this is actually what the disease looks like. Those are the overabundance of white blood cells. And there's a little graph of where these diseases are at. How many? It's very small numbers, anyways. Due to lack of knowledge, funding, and research surrounding histio families, they are greatly suffering, and they can use all the help they can get. And one of these places, which is the organization I kind of spoke about a little bit earlier, is the Histio Association. And you can click again. It is a nonprofit, a global nonprofit organization dedicated to addressing the unique needs of patients and families dealing with the effects of histiocytic disorders while leading the search for a cure. It's the only organization of its kind, and it connects the patient and medical communities to grow and share the knowledge of these disorders so they can get the word out. If they, you know, come up with a new treatment for something, they provide critical and educational support to patients and families, and they also identify and fund research initiatives. So far, they've been responsible for 162 research grants, and that totaled more than $5.3 million. And this is just some of the stuff that they sell on their website for fundraisers and whatnot. The Histio Association is dedicated to supporting and empowering patients and families who live with histiocytic disorders every day. And one way that they do this is through fundraising. Many people are completely unaware of the effects of histio and what they can do to families and patients. So through advocacy and awareness, they help to educate the public and continue the search for a cure. And if you click to the next slide, there are several different ways that the Histio Association does this. They have Rare Disease Day, so that not only includes histio, but your other diseases don't have as much acknowledgement. The month of September is Histiocytosis Awareness Month. And also there's a short video that I can show you after. It's a little boy, I think he's 7 years old, and he talks about Histio and his life and whatnot. With fundraising and education, the public can continue to be made aware of Histio, and it can help in the fight for a cure. As awareness continues to be raised, we can hope to gain support that basically what they're trying to do is get the support for this disease that everybody else has, like for cancer and AIDS and all that type of stuff. Basically, to conclude, Histio is, like I said, a very rare disease. It doesn't receive the acknowledgement that it needs. And the word needs to get out there about these people that are suffering with it. That's it. Thank you.
I want to see that video.
Is this something you're born with, or do you get?
You're born with it, yeah. It's an autoimmune disorder, so it's like AIDS, but not AIDS. Just a different.
Yeah, because AIDS you can contract, right?
Yeah.
It's more like lupus or.
There you
yeah,
go. Okay.
lupus or
Can you click on it? Will it open up?
Thank you guys.
No problem.